So it will be great for us to get insight for that. Okay.
Sure.
Brij-
Perfect.
Brijesh, sir, shall I start?
Yeah, sure. You can start.
Okay, sir.
Mm.
Good afternoon, everyone. So it's me, Sanjana Gupta. It's my great pleasure to welcome all of you to this event. And today we are honored to have with us an eminent scholar and innovator in the field of wireless communication technology, Dr. Ikant Sharma. So Dr. Sharma is currently an assistant professor at the prestigious institute, Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. So he's completed his PhD from IIT Kanpur, where he's specialized in signal processing, communication, and networks. So his academic journey and professional expertise have placed him at the forefront of a cutting-edge research in wireless communication. In addition to his academic accomplishment, Dr. Sharma is also a co-founder of Mantis Wave Networks, which is a company dedicated to pioneering advancements in communication systems. His research primarily focuses on the design of the optimization algorithm for beyond 5G and 6G wireless communication systems. And these groundbreaking technologies have the potential to deliver multi-gigabit data rates while significantly improving energy consumption and spectrum utilization. So Dr. Sharma's contributions are just not a theoretical, and they are paving the way for the future of the global communication infrastructure. And his work is crucial in meeting the growing demands for faster, more efficient, and more sustainable communication networks. So we are indeed privileged to have him with us today to share his insights and knowledge. And please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Ikant Sharma. Thank you. So, sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sanjana, for a nice introduction.
Most welcome, sir.
And I would also thank GR and especially Mr. Bridges to invite me for this podcast. Looking forward for the next 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be having like some research and development question that can be explored in the field of communication, signal processing, and networks only. So my
Yeah.
very first question would be related to electric vehicles and the charging infrastructure. Since my question for you would be, how can we design and develop more efficient and faster charging systems for electric vehicles, since we are like switching to electric vehicles more now compared to the normal fueling system. So what are the implications of widespread electric vehicles adoption on the electrical grid, and how can we mitigate potential issues?
So Sanjana, sorry to just starting, I want to tell you that my area does not fit into electrical vehicle at all. So I would not be a good person to talk about electrical vehicle, how, because
All right.
completely. So my area is mostly towards wireless communication.
Sure, sir.
So electrical vehicle, I will
That's
not go that side. It's not best
all right,
for me
sir.
to comment on that. Yeah,
I'll be switched to the next question then.
yeah, best,
So that
better.
question related to the wireless power transfer. Hope that's comfortable.
That's right. So like when you say 5G, 6G, I would, so my area is on mainly on that side. Wireless power
Okay.
transfer or mainly on the EV. These are all mainly towards the wireless, sorry, electrical engineering department.
All right, sir. So I'll shift the question to signal processing and machine learning. That would be, I think,
Yeah, communication, anything related to communication, that is what my area is.
that's okay, sir. I'll send another question to you. So
Mhm.
that's a question in machine learning and signal processing basically. So how this machine learning algorithm be integrated with the traditional signal processing techniques to enhance the performances of this system? That could be like speech recognition, image processing, and the anomaly detection. So how
Okay,
can
so to start with, like if you remember, if you like right now we are talking about something called futuristic communication, which we call it 6G, next generation wireless, right?
right?
Currently, we are as an overall world, if I see, we are in a process of installing 5G network, right? And 4G
Right.
network has already been installed. BSNL, although late, but they have also stated that they will install 4G soon, and then they will also get into 5G very soon. Now, why I'm bringing with machine learning with 5G and 6G, I'll tell you why. The reason is that so with 5G, still we have not brought ML into communication side or mostly into the actual real world practical scenario. But with 6G, the aim is that bring machine learning or artificial intelligence if we go to the another level, which people call two different names. Some people call it machine learning, people call it artificial intelligence when we
Yeah.
make it more advanced models. So now even the standard bodies, which actually rules, like for example, when you purchase a phone, I'll just give you a layman example. When you purchase a phone, on a phone, when you connect the phone to a base station, when you dial a phone from one phone to your another friend, let's say, whole lot of things happens in between.
Yeah.
And all the things that happen, they are run by a certain set of rules, specification, or standards we call in communication world. So there is an international IMT body 2020 that decided how exactly 5G will look like. Now there's a body called 2030 that is deciding how exactly 6G will have. So in 5G we had three pillars, which did not include ML or AI ML in itself. But in 6G we have six pillars, and one of the pillar is AI ML. So you can see how exactly important AI ML people are talking about. And when I say these standard bodies are not some individual bodies, they when we develop a standard for anything, let's say for example, you gave an example of certain things. Similarly, when you develop any standard, all companies are involved. All the techno companies are involved. They form a group together. They have formed a group together, and then they decide what exactly can be future. So a whole lot of thinking goes on, and then now it is the time where AIML will be there for everything, like say for either for speech, for anomaly detection,
Right.
for communication, for wireless, so everywhere the AIML will be there. AML also has its own, I would say, limitation in terms of it requires a huge amount of training. Let's say, for example, for which you need a good amount of GPUs and all those things. So there is the one place that the problem is happening because let's say, for example, okay, in IITs we have good super power computers, high power computers, but when you go to a smaller colleges or some places where so if someone wants to do a research on this kind of areas, let's say speech, image, communication, so they need to train their algorithms on a some high spec computer, and that then the availability of those computers are the biggest problem. Better solution would be that okay, government can come up with one solution that okay, they create a nice hub where the people can run their algorithm. Okay, irrespective of every institute, everywhere, people creating their own small configuration devices. Better would be that we should always think of creating like how example we have a library, right? Big libraries, people go and read. This also can be a one example where for technological people who actually want to do research on AIML, they can just run their code on those supercomputer or high-end computers, and then they can get the result out. Otherwise,
Yeah.
without those high-end results, uh, AML stuff will not work. They will only work for small things where the learning is not that high, where the training requirement is not that high. That is one of the bottleneck that I always see because with me, my PhD students also we see it takes time to train something which requires huge amount of data. And if you're training with very less data, then it does not actually give you the result. Although your algorithm may be very good, let's say your algorithm may be best out of the others, but still because you are not able to train your algorithm on the actual data, on the real data, on large amount of data, then it will not
Okay.
give the exact expected result.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
also most important, right? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, is there any current work related to ML of 5G and 6G currently going on in IITs as well?
Yeah, every IIT is doing it. Like I can say that in India right now is working like I would say government also.
Okay.
Government is pushing hard and also having allotted lots and lots of money for 6G related research work. And one of them is, like I said, one of the pillars for 6G related work is AML. The
Yeah.
other also, but AML is one of the topic that has been actively researched, and many projects has been given by different bodies, government bodies, like say Department of Telecommunication, Department of Science of Technology. There's MIT. There's many others. Not only
Okay.
government. There's technology innovation hubs. 23 technology innovation hubs are there. Few of them are focusing on AIML related applications. So government has put enough money into this area, and that is the reason if government provides money, enough money, then researchers are there. That's why it is providing money, right? So
Yeah.
many, not only I'm saying, not only IITs, there are triple IITs, there are NITs, good NITs, ISR, they're all working on IIML problem related to not only communication, related to many other different fields.
All right.
So we are at, you can say we are at the front of that. Only, like I said, the limitation only goes in the time of training. Otherwise, Algorithm wise, we are making good step on that. Yeah.
Okay, great, sir. Okay, so next question, switching to the Internet of the Things, IoT. So I would like to know about what are the best practices for designing and implementing secure, scalable, and energy efficient IoT networks, and how can we ensure interoperability between different IoT devices and the platforms?
So let's say, for example, I'll tell you an IoT device when you say. So it is like if you have seen the 5G, right? When they call 5G, I am
Yeah,
connecting all this to 5G, 6G because when you need to connect all these IoT devices, you need to connect it to the backend network. So
exactly.
5G network or 6G network. Let's say, for example, when we envision 5G, everyone talked about everything to be getting into smart mode, like smart health, smart vehicle, smart electric grid, smart, for example, everything smart. Okay, but
Right.
but that has not seen its light right now. Okay, we have the 5G phone, we have 5G SIM, but we are only
Exactly.
using 5G network for calling. We don't have any application till date. I always say to this, my students also, my researchers also, my friends also, that we have got 5G, but we have not got a real application which was actually thought of at the time of when we were talking about 5G, that 5G will come and it will do that with the help of
Yeah.
by connecting multiple devices, billions of devices, IoT devices, but that has not happened yet. The reason being the infrastructure has not at all developed. There is no use case actually existing which can be integrated into 5G.
Okay.
Right. So let's say, for example, IoT, when you say IoT, right? So there are many limitations on the distances, the transmit power. I'm talking about those things. Okay. Hardware is another thing. Everyone knows how to operate Arduino. Everyone knows how to operate Raspberry Pi 4, which is the integrated, like basic module for IoT kind of devices. But it's very rare, like we are seeing any real life example where which can be implemented in like industry 4.0 kind of applications, healthcare or anywhere where we can use those sensors or large number of sensors which can collect data and then it can provide it at a central location. Like for example, I'll just give you, I have a startup in communication area where we have a private 5G network. So there we are actually trying to develop this kind of use cases where, for example, you have LoRa nodes or IoT nodes to which you connect different sensor data. And as soon as, for example, I'll tell you an example of Navy ship. You have a Navy ship. We are talking to Navy people also. You have a Navy ship where they need to collect information from different parts of the ship about the ship also and about the intruder also, if suppose there is any. And so and they cannot like every time 24/7 they can place their people all around the ship, right? So the sensor
Right.
can collect data, the common data, all the data can be collected at the common place, and then through that common place they can always uh, make sure that okay everything is going fine or not. Those kind of applications are there, but once again I'm saying uh, practical applications are yet to be developed. Like in one of our startup, we are trying to do that, but real life applications are yet to be seen with IoTs and all those things right now. Otherwise, if suppose, let's say, because we see that we are talking about smart cities, we are talking about all those things, but they are yet to get that much smarter. Right,
All
we are
right.
okay. The traffic lights are only have got smarter slightly, but they have not got that much smarter that we can call it smart city actually. But the
True.
idea is not that smart only to make traffic lights smart.
Sir, may I know the little insights of your IoT rookie, like you are working currently on the communication since you have mentioned the startup as
Yeah,
well. So what are the recent
yeah.
trend there in IITs, and like what are the
So if I
perspectives of the students, like the working there under you, the scholars and also the students? So what are their mindsets and what are their future thoughts to be for the communication and the
yes.
networking part?
So for example, if I talk about my students here
Yeah,
or any student who come into academia, okay, let's say for example in any of the IITs, and suppose when they come here, they need to choose whether they need to, like for example, as a PhD student who are research scholars, if I talk about research scholars,
yeah,
and they join here, they have two things in their mind,
okay,
whether to join after PhD in academia side or to go to industry side. The
yeah,
two most, if they bifurcate very straightforward bifurcation, right, industry or academia. Now, right now, the requirement of academia is very, very different, and the requirement of industry is very, very different. I always say when
true,
the first day that they come to me saying that we want to work with you. if everything gets sorted, my question is that only, okay, let us decide the research problem for you. But first of all, tell me which area we not to work. And okay, if suppose you want to work in this area, do you know where is the application, whether you can go to academia with this research work or whether you can go to
Industrially.
industry? Because
Yeah,
industry works on, industry does not like pure research, mathematical research and all those things
exactly.
in anything. Industry is more towards practical deployment kind of thing where they can generate money, or they have very different, like if suppose like till now there was in India at least what was happening, there's not much handshaking between academia and industry. Outside India, US, Europe, there are many companies which are very closely working with the academia or
Academic
professors
students.
there.
Yeah,
Many professors are part of companies, well established companies there. That trend was very much lacking here in India at least. Now it has started because IITs have allowed their faculties, some of the IITs have allowed their faculties to open a startup. Earlier it was not allowed. Like what how US and Europe and other developed countries have already allowed, and that's why their academia and the industry are very closely working together. In India, they have allowed now. Through that only, I also opened, and many other faculties from different other IITs have also opened. In this IIT also have that allows to think the academicians to think in the way how the industry thinks. Where at the end, we don't only want to do a theoretical research, but would lead to publications. We want to do something more than that, which would lead to patent and which would lead to some product. And through product, we can generate some revenue, right?
okay.
So that is the first question. Like I was saying, I generally ask to my student, and then based on their requirement, like okay, they say, okay, we want to go into industry. So we try to collaborate with some industry in that case, such that the work that PhD student is working is in sync with what industry currently is looking for. And then when we work together, and always something good come up, that such that at the end of 5 year or 4 year, when his PhD is complete, his or her PhD is complete, they get to the job immediately. Right. So that kind of we try to have some collaboration. Similarly for academia, if suppose someone wants to do teaching kind of thing, then fine. And then there's very separate kind of research, because then that guy need to be trained so that that guy can do research under the supervision of his supervisor. At the same time, at the end of his career, he should be able to do his independent research, such that when he
Okay.
goes to career in a PhD career, as soon as he gets the degree, he should be able to do research independently. Suppose let's say I was doing research under my supervisor, but when I came back here, I had to do research with my student, right? I have to guide my student. So that kind of
Yeah,
training, my supervisor gave it to me, such that okay, I got that training from my supervisor that I can train other new PhD students. Similarly, I want to give those kind of training to my student, and that is how exactly you will grow and you will make your students grow, right? So that
exactly.
kind of things that generally most of the ITs that they try to do that. I have seen that. So that new generation of researchers that get developed and that research progress keep on happening. Because I can tell you, doing research is not an easy task. From outside, it
Exactly.
feels okay, it's just a paper. But when actually someone does the research, you need to do so many process. And that's why they have kept 5 years for PhD. It's not like at least minimum duration is 5 years. And most of the ITs, many people take almost 6 years, 7 years, 8 years also. There are few IITs with research, and it's not like sometimes people have a misconception that if someone is taking large time or long time to complete their PhD, then that guy is not doing good. It's not
Okay.
like that. Sometimes someone is doing great in his PhD, and he's attached to his PhD, such that he still want to continue to in PhD for 6, 7, 8 years. And many time I have seen that example when I was at IIT Kanpur also. Many people continue to in their PhD for 7th year, 8th year. I also continued for 6 years. It was not like in 5 year I could have not got degree, but it was nice time that research was happening. So it was people are not in a mood to just cut short their research at that point when they're at their peak. So it happens, and then 8 year you just get a job after leaving that. So that's why the time duration is not someone getting a degree in 8 year does not mean his PhD was bad and he was just not able to complete his PhD. Though that misconception is also there here also when people come, they say, okay, no, sir, that guy is still doing his PhD for 8 years, he has not yet got degree. But when you go
Exactly.
and see their profile, you see that they're much better than any 2, 3 together PhD. So
True.
sometimes but that takes time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the
So,
case of all the IITs, the same kind of philosophy. I have seen that if someone is doing good, they take time to complete that. Yeah.
so we can consider that most of the projects of that wireless communication, it's already going on in IITs.
Yeah, all the
Most
IITs
of the.
have. Yeah, well, I would say, like I said, I am from wireless communication area, so I just keep my eye open about those. But IITs
Okay.
are not only doing research area in wireless communication, like in my
Yeah.
department also. We have multiple groups. We have groups on VLSI, microelectronics and VLSI. We have this group from RF. People are doing research on RF. We have people are doing research on micro VLSI. People are doing on terahertz. So
Yeah.
there are different groups that we have. Communication within communication, like I said, signal processing is separate, communication is separate. People do research on networking. Nowadays, a new field have come, which is quantum communication. So people,
Exactly.
government has given enough money for quantum also. DSPS recently got enough good amount of money from government. So that's it. So it's all a chain. If government shows interest, okay, this is a topic that I can provide money, then researcher also go there and then they try their best to get something out of it. But without money, some fields are there which you cannot do any research without any money coming from the government or funding. So all are interrelated. Like theoretical research is fine. We don't need too much money if suppose someone is doing only
Exactly.
theoretical research because designing algorithms and all those things. But some if you talk about something which may lead to a product, then you need money.
Yeah.
So
Funding
they're
is
all
important.
related. Funding
Yeah.
important. And in India, for few years, I can see last few years, I can see funding has started to come. In between, there was no funding, but now the funding has started to come. So in some 5 to 10 years, you will see that okay, something coming out of most of the IITs at least
You're right.
in terms of in form
Sir,
of product.
I would like to like put a light on your startup area. So
Yeah,
as you like give you a little account of your startup. So could you just express more about it if you wish to?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So the startup that we have opened is in the area of private 5G. So
Okay.
that is one of the area which most of the countries have already got their product. Like South Korea is very active in it. China have US. So they like when I say private 5G, I'll just give an example. You connect. You have a mobile. You have a SIM, right?
Yeah.
Let's say Airtel, Jio, and whatever. You connect to that network. Similarly, you can connect to our product, our network in a box, and then you can dial to anyone you want. Okay, so you
Okay.
can say that it is similar to that. But now, what is this simplicity of our box? Why it is called private 5G? It does not require a high-end device, infrastructure, so heavy infrastructure. Okay, to connect. Like for example, if you say a Geo network, you would have seen that high, like large towers and all those things where the
Right.
antennas are installed, right? Here, there's nothing like that. Because why that high, large towers and all those things required? Because the coverage and all those things are very huge there. When we say private 5G, the application actually lies in mostly like Industry 4.0. When suppose, let's say I was telling, right, Industry 4.0, let's say a pharma company is there which need to collect information about temperature every 15 minutes or every 10 minutes kind of thing, continuous. Or suppose let's say they need to do something which is very secure. They don't want to provide the data that they are collecting, right? Whatever data they are collecting to get into outside. They want a secure network. So for all those applications, they can just have our box, our product.
Okay.
They can install it. All the data they can collect through IoT sensors and all those things. And all the data is secure because we are not using Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is the least secure network, right? If you suppose
Yeah.
that you
Exactly.
connect to a Wi-Fi, people say why not Wi-Fi? So only difference with Wi-Fi and our network, like private 5G network, is Wi-Fi is less secure. Private 5G is more secure when compared to Wi-Fi. So the network that you have created, you only can access the data in that. No one else can, I would say, get the access to this network. The best part is security, more reliable. Wi-Fi is not that reliable. The private 5G, like the network in a box kind of solution, is more reliable when compared to Wi-Fi. So in that sense, we have already talking to multiple defense companies, defense sectors, and all those things. Academia also want to take our product to do more research on top of it. Because what was happening earlier is, see, as an academia, it is very difficult to design anything from scratch. So what we are giving them,
Exactly.
we are giving them a platform. Once they have a platform, they can develop additional use cases, additional things on top of our product instead of designing from very scratch. That is one of the
Yeah.
that's why the academia is one of our customer. defense and army and all those people, defense sector is one of our market. The reason being they need a secure network. They also need to create their network when there is no network. Like say, for example, they are going to a area where there is no network. But with our box, they can create a network altogether.
Mm.
Only thing is, only hurdle is they need to have their own spectrum. So in that case, like at the defense army, they already have their own spectrum. They can use that spectrum. As an academia, the government has allowed academia to use the 5G spectrum of certain band after taking license. So in that way, government, the academia institutions also are able to use our box without without too much risking about how exactly to get the spectrum. If I go and sell it to Industry 4.0, any company, then they need to take care of the frequency spectrum, because then they need to talk to either BSNL or Geo or anyone who already have a spectrum in
Right.
that band, and then it will take leads from them. So that's right. So like I said, three sectors we have divided our product into for as a marketplace: academia, defense, and Industry 4.0. And product is simple, very simple. It's just plug and play. Like for example, you have a CPU, right? You just click on that, and then your product gets started. It is as simple as that. Your product, we make it such that you just click on it, the power will be on, and then you can just your dashboard will come, and then you can just operate from there. And you can do whatever, like voice calls, you can do video calls, you can collect information at a set distance of 400 meters, 500 meters from IoT devices and LoRa devices. So, and many applications can be developed. Like for example, you can connect our device through a drone. We have a drone kind of solution where through drone you can do a surveillance. For example, if you want to do a surveillance, the drone is doing a live surveillance, and that data can be passed back to the our server or our main box.
Okay.
And then you can just see whether everything is fine. So many applications. One thing, these are all applications. Once the network is created, then you can
Yeah.
create multiple applications. And that is why I was saying, I'm repeating also. That is why we are saying that for academician, this is a good start. That okay, we give them a product where they can create
Mm.
a network, and then now they can connect different use cases, AML use cases, many use cases.
Yeah.
Then they can develop. We have already created 8 to 10 use cases, but I think hundreds of use cases can be further developed. For that, we have created a product. And since I am from academia, my interest was more towards academia. The academia should benefit for this as much as possible. Because when we write products, we need to, like for example, for any funding from government, we need to get fund for getting funding. We need to uh, give them some output. And when we say we are giving some output in terms of theoretical research, no one is
Yeah.
going to get the funding, right? But when we say we are going to give you something, or this, at least of the order of prototype, some prototype that okay,
Yeah.
this can happen, this that can happen, then the government or any funding agency, being government or private, they can invest on us, saying
Approve the
that okay, no,
loans.
your
Mm.
output is something worthy, which is a real life of the kind, a real life implementation of the kind. So
And might solve your
that
multiple problems also related to
exactly,
networking.
exactly, because they'll be able to see that. Although
Mm.
once again, I always repeat, theoretical research is one of the difficult things when compared
Mm.
to any this kind of prototype development, if suppose someone is doing it. But still theoretical research is not that much given importance right now, because of the fact that we need more and more use cases, at least which are related to our homegrown, like our country mainly, right? And that's why the focus right now is more towards prototype development when compared to theoretical research in most of the IITs also, at by from most of the professors of some of the IITs, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. So as you mentioned that about the product that you was discussing, you just have to just connect it to the CPU or something like that, right?
No,
So
no,
will it be
not to
connected
CPU. No,
or
you
to
don't have to
the
connect. It is a
desktop?
product. I'm just
Okay.
giving an example that
Okay.
similar
Yeah.
to a CPU, our
Okay.
box also is some simple small box of 1.5 kg, small box
All right.
that you just click on that power button and it will start and it will create a network. It is as easy that as that.
Okay. And the spectrum would be not much higher than comparatively, right?
No, no, spectrum is spectrum. When I say we are using the same spectrum that we use for 5G, right? For
Okay.
example, N78 band, N41 band. But once again, I say I can use on that box only inside my in the institute, because the institute has can take license from the government to use
All
that
right.
spectrum for research purpose and development purpose. But if suppose someone is purchasing our box, it's very important for them to purchase the license first and then only use our box. And then
Okay.
that is the reason we cannot transmit at very high transmit. We transmit at very, very low transmit power so that our signal does not get interfered with the uh, actual
Outside
signal that
signals.
the signal like from the Geo or Airtel and all those things. That's why we are
Oh,
just transmitting it. So try has some limitation that okay, someone cannot transmit at a power higher that. So we are transmitting at very, very low power just to show that okay, it's working. But if for someone like for army people, they when they use their own frequency rate, then everything is open.
okay.
So this area is like the communication, like while we develop prototype, also we have to be very careful about that the frequency that we are operating should not interfere with the actual frequency that people are using for their cellular. Otherwise, their cellular communication will get interference,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. That's really interesting, and that India is revolutionizing with such thing, and government is also funding.
Yeah,
So, so there's one thing you have mentioned about the quantum networking, right? So just give me a
yeah.
little sight of it. What is exactly, and in a very brief manner.
So
We just have four minutes, so we can complete that.
quantum, all like once again, I say quantum is also not my research area. I just heard
Okay.
about it that okay, there's something which not only in India, outside also multiple researchers are a good amount of research is happening, and quantum is a research area where good amount of funding is also required. And so I have just that idea because I have not worked on that field. My area is not related to that. Most of the physics
Okay.
people are very much involved in that, and I think ISR Pune has recently got one hub for quantum related stuff, and now they're providing. Like suppose someone is some of the viewers, if they are interested in quantum kind of research, they can always contact ISR hub, I think, and they can
Okay.
get some funding from there. So that is, I think, the point of contact for now, if I correctly remember. That is very recent development. I was just
Yeah, that is,
looking into
I
what is
think, for the
happening.
data secure transmission. I think there was something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that is the money and all those things have just come. So I think now many people will start working on quantum in this few next 3 to 4 years, and something
Okay.
may come out. Something better may come out.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for all the answers and
Thank,
the insight and research ideas, and also about your startup. So, Brijesh, sir,
thank
would you
you.
like to say something?
No, no, I think it's time going. So I think we should summarize the session. Okay.
All right, sir. Okay. Right, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much for giving your precious time to us. And it was a very grateful session for us as well, and for the audience as well. And they will get a lot about what communication and how does wireless communication working, and what the research and what are the perspective of the students are going on. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
We hope
Thank you,
to meet you
Sadhana.
soon again with another session related to the communication wireless. Okay,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
calling me.
much.
Bye bye. Bye bye.